Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday the 9th of September. So looking at the euro dollar first, and well, last week I'm rather suspicious on the euro dollar's moves overall, on the basis of it's got the ECB meeting coming up this Thursday, so the movements from last week I was a little bit suspicious about, but we've still got the potential to push, I guess, a little bit further. But generally in this whole picture, it hasn't broken the downward trend that's sitting there, still sitting there, looking quite bearish. Come to the 4 hourly, okay, I've drawn the trend line across the highs here. A breaker that might start seeing something a little bit more bullish, but at this stage, as I said, it remains weak. And when I look at the hourlies here, we're sort of, you see a sort of clearer wedge sort of formed, or near-term wedge. We've got the key. We've seen lower highs coming through in the price action of a Friday. Okay, it rallied following the non-farms, etc. But it's tightened into this range, and I think it may be a struggle to get out of it today, and it may just chop its way out sideward. It's pretty close to its daily pivot there, above. If it rolls to the downside, well, the weekly pivot's not too far away, and that could be a draw earlier in the week. Now, a break to the upside, well, target's a bit thin anyway, so it remains quite a tricky one to be looking to get a decent trade out of it either way, whether you're looking at a day trade or even a short-term swing. Really, swings may be on the downside, got some potential back to the lows here, if we see a continuation. To the upside, well, there's some chances of way back to Thursday's highs there, and the 500 MA 60-minute 500 has got a potential maybe over a day or so that it would take to work out. But for now, chopping in there, not particularly interested in doing too much for that. The pound broke the downward trend line, although yet to put on the daily basis a higher low in, but it had a decent old move up there last week, breaking the prior highs from the previous week. On a weekly point of view, you'll see this as a bullish engulfing candle with a body completely bigger than the previous, totally engulfed the previous body plus the range. So it's quite a bullish looking candle here, and there was divergences into the lows there, just marginal divergence. They're not massive, but there's divergence on the MACD, a little bit clearer on the RSI there, so there was certainly some divergence sitting in on that weekly basis. Can it follow it through this week? Well, we'll see. At the moment, I'm a bit skeptical because of the very fact that Boris Johnson's doing his best to try and avoid the no deal law that was put in, and is expected to go through, I believe it is today. Now, he will try whatever he needs to do to avoid that, so we'll see how it goes. But if you can't avoid it, well, it's in a bull flag on this 4 hourly time frame. It does look like it's got potential, even though if it does break down, the weekly pivot is a target below, but at the moment it looks erring on the more bullish side from that 4 hourly picture. Daily pivot sits there above at around about 2305 area, maybe slightly lower, somewhere in that region though, and could be an intraday target here. But we do have manufacturing production out today, and GDP is a monthly GDP, I believe, coming out today. So he says a quick change here. Release monthly, yeah. So we've got the monthly GDP coming out today, which tends to have a lesser movement at the moment on these markets, although it's very important. We'll see, but manufacturing production is due out at 9:30 as well, so it's hard to see which one is the real mover there, but when they come out together, but we'll see. But maybe get some volatility around 9:30 just to watch out for. But if this starts breaking to the upside, as I say, the daily pivot is the target for sure. Okay, will it break beyond there? Well, there is the potential it could carry on that bigger picture. Okay, dollar yen. Dollar yen mostly has been chopping last few days. It managed to break out on Thursday. Friday it just was an inside day. Today, well, it's between a rock and a hard place again, like a lot of these, with the weekly pivot below and a daily pivot above on some of them. Actually, here it's right on its daily pivot at the moment. So just looking at where it is, it's put lower highs in. Confirmed lower highs there, but not really going anywhere given clear direction, so makes it a little bit more tricky. In terms of breakouts, well, the breakouts can occur and then it just pulls back into range with the yen quite often. There is the potential more maybe on a intraday or multi-day trade, more of a swing type trade, if we see a break of this level here back for the weekly pivot. So there is that weekly pivot sitting below there at 106 with Friday's low. So anything that starts stirring it to the downside, there's the possible target. It may take more than a day though for that to occur, although on Friday it had quite a bit of movement. It's in the main, the volatility has often dried out of these markets. Okay, that's the yen. Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar continued its push up there, now into its daily 50. Again, weekly pivot below, but it seems relatively strong. Although there's some divergence sitting on the 4-hourly here. Got the potential for a little bit of a rollover at some point here, but weekly pivot just sitting way below that. Now again, for that, maybe I'd be looking for the 34 and 50 to be broken. They've not been tested yet, so any sort of move down to that may just be a bounce, but it does have the weekly pivot below, which may cause a draw. But I'm just looking through, there's not a great deal of Australian data out this week, so it's left to its own devices a little bit. One thing that won't help it in some respects is the 10% drop in Chinese sales to the US, which in itself may have knock-on effects, less raw materials. Canadian dollar here, let's just look at the bigger picture. To me, it's the strongest currency against the US dollar at the moment, and we've seen that with the numbers coming out. Good non-farms for the Canadian region there. It's hawkish sort of meeting earlier in the week, last week, and it's looking like it's got potential as a continuation of this. Like the other markets though, it does have the weekly pivot in a bit of a awkward place because it's above it at the moment. So if it was to run towards that, well, it could become a target. There is a bit of divergence sitting across the lows here where we are, so it may help work that off. In turn, at that point, it could be a turning point for the markets. It's just come back down here a little bit. Other thing across, of course, we've got the daily pivot above us, but we'll see the way this is consolidating and it's running a bit sideways at the moment. Well, it looks like it may not even come back for the daily pivot. It may just drop off the cliff here. But certainly the Canadian is the strongest against the US dollar at the moment. Right. Not a lot of obvious moves this morning. As ever, I normally look at the pound, the euro, the European currencies at this time of the morning, but maybe I just need to give it a bit of time today, see how it shows its hand. And remember, we got the key data out for the UK there at 9:30. That's it for me. Have a great day. I'll be putting the big picture up later. Bye for now. Oh, one other thing I just remembered. Actually, we've got 2 free days in our trading room this week. So if you're not a day trader with us at the moment and would like to look at day trading and see what we're doing, you can join Charlie and myself on Wednesday and Thursday this week. That's the 11th and 12th of September. Come and join us in our trading room, free of charge. You just need to fill the little link in that's below the video, and you'll be able to join us. And we will walk you through the day for those 2 days. You can ask what questions you like. If you're interested in what all these horizontal lines are on my charts and you've not asked me so far, well, you can come in and ask me what all these horizontal pivot line told you. There we go. Anyway, look forward to seeing you on Wednesday and Thursday this week. That's the 11th and 12th.